We cross too.
Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Bester.
And I'm Kristen Damone.
And we are at the NMEX Center. I was a Lethbridge Hurricane Billet mom. Kristen still is. We want to talk a little bit about why we did that, how we got into it. Why did you become a billet mom?
So interesting. Our boys started playing hockey, and my husband used to play and was billeted, and we have a really close relationship with his billets. We're actually going to be seeing them next week down in Portland. And so we were talking about kind of what hockey might look like for our boys and if one day they were going to play. And I kind of suggested, maybe we should billet. It's a way to build up some good karma in case they ever need it, and a way for Jim to give back to the community and to hockey, because it's given him and our family so much.
My older brother was a national swimmer, and he went to Edmonton when he was 15 and was billeted in swim.
Yeah.
I was not a hockey girl or mom at all. My boys were in other sports, but my oldest went to college, and my youngest said, "Mom, you're over mothering me." And so Tamara said, "Why don't you become a billet mom?" And then all of a sudden, within 3 days, I was a billet mom. To Tate Olson was the first one that I had the fortune of billeting. Who are some of your billets?
So over the years, we started with Brett Kitt, actually. He came in on a trade from Brandon Wheat Kings. It was a big trade at the time. He was with us for a few months and actually got sent to the SJHL at the trade deadline. So that's always an interesting experience, the trade deadline. We've also had Andrew Nielsen, Kaylin Addison for his 16-year-old here. We most recently had Chase Wheatcroft, and now have Braden Edwards. You think about them every day, what they need, if they're happy, how they're playing, how practice is going, how they're fitting into your family, if their laundry needs to get done.
Your shirt isn't pressed for the hockey game.
And they stay with you, even when they leave. I mean, maybe you can talk a little bit about that. You have a great example of that.
Last week, I FaceTimed with Taylor. I was going through something, and he goes, I got 10 minutes, let me quickly FaceTime you. And just seeing him and just feeling that comfort and those connections, still with him and his family. And the same with Tate. I was joking with Kristen saying my first billet was actually Pete Anholt's nephew. That was a lot of pressure. But it was so much fun being welcomed, not just into the families of the players, but the family of the Hurricanes as an organization.
Yeah, so the organization has been fantastic. So they're always there supporting you, checking in. The billets all have a little network together, and that's been really interesting this year, because you see other billet moms posting pictures of their boys cooking dinner, and it's like, hey, Brandon, where's ours? But no, the organization has been great. I mean, they have the billet and parent nights. They facilitate those relationships as well. So it's wonderful. You always feel very supported.
So being a billet mom is a very worthwhile endeavor then.
Absolutely. What would you say is your favorite memory of billeting? Because you've done it all too.
Yes, you are right. And one thing we used to do, because Taylor, he had a goal of getting so many goals and assists throughout the season. So after every time he got a point, he would come home and we would light a sparkler, because he wanted to get 32 points in a certain Anyway, so I had them all ready, and by the end of the season, all the sparklers had been lit.
Oh,
and then his first year playing down in the States, I just kept doing the same thing, and now he's over playing in Sweden, and it's harder to keep track of, but those moments and that excitement, right? Because everybody joined the table and everybody was excited over a sparkler. What are some of the challenges that you have faced or you have felt? You kind of shared something in your office one day. What happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's definitely a lot of challenges. A couple of them right off the top of my head are players in and out of the lineup. That's always a hard one. How do you keep them going? How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep their spirits up? The biggest one for me most recently was when Chase got traded. I mean, he was such a big part of our family, and I still miss him every day. And I remember getting the call at the office and one of our VPs coming out saying, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? Are you okay?" And I said, "Chase just got traded." "Chase who?" "My billet." "You're what?" So trying to navigate that. And I mean, I'm in the office crying hysterically. She came out 3 times to see if I was okay and see if I needed a ride home. So helping others too, understanding the nature of that relationship and how quickly you form these deep bonds with those kids, that can be a challenge in itself. And every billet mom hates the trade deadline.
I remember the Humboldt crash.
Yeah.
And halfway through the game, my boy was from Saskatchewan, and he knew quite a few of the boys that were on the bus. And Kate's mom couldn't be here that game, and so I knew right after the game that I needed to be here. And all this, just those emotions about them getting on the bus the next couple times and things like that. Do you remember those feelings?
You sure do, and you carry it with you. I mean, I can still to this day tell you exactly where I was, what I was doing when that crash happened and when the news broke of it. And you still to this day worry about it. I worry every time my kids get on the bus. It never goes away.
Right. My seats are right behind the net, and so I would always see, and defense players, they're always being smashed on the boards and stuff, and I'm right there. And so they used to say, the look on my face sometimes, and I said, "If they hurt you again, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to smack them." So, so it's interesting. Those, they really become your boys that you want to take care of, just like your own children. We're doing this interview on video because you can't actually be at the conference on Thursday. Why is that?
Yeah, I am actually really sad to miss out on the conference, but the reason I'm away is for my own convocation from Royal Roads University. So I'll be walking the stage.
That.
Yeah, so it's been 2 years. During the pandemic, I picked up school and finished off my BCom degree. So it's been interesting managing, your career, your home life, your family life, billeting, and school. So I'm looking forward to kind of the end of one of those.
So let's talk about let's talk about going through that during COVID and then your position now at the college.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in some ways it was a blessing to go through it during COVID because one of the seasons the Hurricanes players weren't actually with us, which I would say was really challenging to have them in the city but not actually be able to see them all the time.
Right.
I mean, that's your kid. You want to be with them. But it was a little bit of a blessing because it allowed for some of that space to find some of that balance for my schoolwork. And then, once we had Chase back, he was so great. He'd always check in over my shoulder. "Oh, what are you working on? What paper are you writing today?" And helped out with the kids around the house, knowing I was taking on extra too. So, I mean, we really all just made it work. And my career at the college has evolved. So I was supporting Paula, as you know, on the Board of Governors, and now I've moved on into community engagement as well. So bringing the college back out into the community coming out of COVID and working with many community partners. First time being in the box.
Tate, his first year at university, it was out on the East Coast. I can't remember the name right now. Anyway, Tate was defense, and he spent some time in the penalty box, where we are right now. And he was in there's this huge brawl, like everybody on the team, both sides, including everybody in the box, like everywhere. And I looked and I'm like, "Where the heck?" He goes, "You'd be so proud of me. I didn't get involved in the fight." I said, "Well, why?" "Well, because I was in the penalty box already." And I'm like,
I feel like that's a classic defenseman answer.
It was funny. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Those memories.
Yeah.
Because those kids, they feel that your energy. And they see our hurdles and they see our challenges. And I know my boys love it when they see mom happy.
Yeah.
So community engagement, to me, that is what we're kind of talking about right now with the Hurricanes. And, we have these players that come in from all over Canada and international as well. They come into our city. We have the opportunity to host them. And then we get to be proud of them. And then we get to be proud of the Hurricanes is an organization.
Absolutely.
And we get to be proud of this beautiful facility that is in our city. When the Hurricanes aren't playing, we have got entertainment in here. Bryan Adams last week was amazing. We were so happy it hurt. Right?
Love it. Yeah. No pun intended.
No pun intended. But I want to thank you so much for what you do, not just as a billet mom, but what you do in your community connections with the college and also through the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce.
Amazing. Well, thank you for having me. I'm always happy to help out. Same to you. You're an amazing woman, and all of you here today. So celebrate yourselves and go Hurricanes.
Go Hurricanes, and thank you for joining us today.
Oh man. Do you ever miss it? Do you ever miss billeting?
You know what? I do. I miss it a lot. And who knows? I might do it again.
Ooh.
I talked into it. Tamara's talked me into it before. You never know, she can do that again.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I still keep my seats and I still keep my jerseys. My grandson, my 1-year-old grandson, actually, we brought him to his first Hurricanes game, beginning of the season. And I bought him a little jersey, and he's standing there, and I took a picture of him, and I sent it to Taylor and Tate, and they both responded back, "Oh, his first Hurricanes jersey, go, go, go." And it's community. I believe in it. So, it's just something that the Hurricanes will always be a part of my life, whether I billet again or whether I just be a fan, a continued fan.
Absolutely. It's that community spirit. We all need it in our lives.
We do.